I just moved to New Zealand, and no, this is not clickbait, y'all. So I know what you're thinking, Aubrey, why in the heck did you move to New Zealand? Here's the thing. So I don't want to go into so many specifics here, and I'm not really going to go into many of them because a lot of it is for personal reasons that I'm not going to disclose. But I will say that when it came down to it, it was just easier for me to move to New Zealand versus going or having other people come to me. And so therefore the opportunity presented itself, and I was just like, frick, I guess I'm gonna go to New Zealand, why not? So I applied for a visa to live and work in New Zealand for up to a year in February. So this has been going on in the background since February. So I've been planning and budgeting and doing so much on my end to get here, and it's been a journey. It's actually been not too bad of a journey, and it honestly doesn't cost that much to move to New Zealand, y'all. Like, really, it just costs you like your cost of living here, which literally was no different than my cost of living in Ohio. The only thing that's different is like groceries. And then some things are actually cheaper, some things are a little bit more expensive, but it really evened out at the end of it. So what's stopping me from moving? Like, if I have the opportunity, why not? So yes, I am able to live and work in New Zealand for up to a year. And then when that year ends, I'm going to then apply for other types of visas that will allow me to stay for longer than a year. So cross fingers. But it was actually a process that's been going on in the background, like I mentioned, for so long. So I'm glad that I can finally share this with you because I've been keeping it on the down low. Obviously, people are like, oh, okay, you're probably going to go to New Zealand, but plot twist, I'm just moving. So a big question I've gotten a lot throughout this is, why did you choose New Zealand out of all other countries? And I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but it was honestly just easier for me to move to New Zealand when it came down to visa processing. So like getting a visa and getting it approved in New Zealand literally took me 2 days. I applied for it. I was like, here is what my intentions are in the country. And then more or less it was just super easy to get applied for and then get it all sorted. And I literally got applied and good to go in 2 days. It took 2 days. So in comparison to other processes, there are a lot of other visas you can apply for, obviously, to New Zealand. And there are qualifications. Like if I were above a certain age, I wouldn't have been able to get the visa I have now. So it was just a lot of pretty much perfect timing and also perfect opportunity, in all honesty, when it came down to getting to New Zealand versus, you know, potentially other people coming to the States or potentially me going to a different country. New Zealand just made more sense. And I've also, you know, visited the country and I really freaking liked it when I was here, okay? Another question I got asked a lot throughout this moving process was, what are you doing with your cat, Marielle? If you guys don't know Marielle, she is a big staple in the streaming area, and you know, you may have seen her fall in a couple times on a couple YouTube shorts, but I can assure you that she is being really well looked after and taken care of by Task Pumpkin. If you guys don't know Task Pumpkin, she is a fellow streamer, and I actually was planning to meet up with her in person, and so it just kind of worked out this way that, you know, I was like, well, I need someone to take Marielle because I had a lot of different reasons why I couldn't take her with me, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Task was super, super nice and is offering a home for Marielle right now. So I'm very happy that Task is able to do that. And that was a huge stressor throughout the whole planning process. So thank you so much, Task. You can still catch Marielle on Task Pumpkin streams. Maybe you'll hear a meow or two. But yes, I love all the updates Task's giving me. I've been so appreciative of that. So Marielle is being well looked after by Task Pumpkin now. But that doesn't mean that Marielle still isn't going to be at least a part of the streams. An emote style, you know? So I'm going to talk about the reasons why I couldn't bring Marielle to New Zealand. Big major reason was because of the process of bringing a cat to New Zealand. I knew it was going to be expensive, and I actually had budgeted enough to have her come to New Zealand. That really wasn't the problem. The big problem was the whole process, because I would sit down and I would even talk with Marielle's vet and I'd be like, all right, so I'm going to do this big move, but how will Marielle take it? Marielle is 7 years old now, which she still is like super healthy. She has absolutely no issues with her. But I was concerned about how long the flight would be, because with the connecting flights and all that, it's like a 21-hour whole traveling process, which is a lot. And my vet pretty much reassured me that Marielle will be fine to travel, that she wasn't worried about Marielle's conditions or like anything like that, because, you know, she didn't have anything. And she seemed like a healthy adult kitty. But the thing is with Marielle is that my vet told me that the stress would be a lot on her, which I was very worried about, the stress of being like in a cargo plane. And yes, I could not have my cat on board with me. She would have to be in a different part of the plane traveling. I was like, okay, that really sucks. But, you know, 21 hours, long time, but it'll be fine, right? But then in New Zealand, they have a lot of biosecurity laws, so they're super duper picky about like what you can bring over. They're super on the environmental side here. So when it comes down to animals and what types of breeds of animals you can bring, they're very specific there too. So I wasn't entirely sure I could even bring her. So they do not allow any mixed breed pets, animals of any kind here whatsoever. That was sort of my big red flag right there with making me not want to bring her to New Zealand, because I was just like, I don't want it to come to the point where she's traveled all this way. And then what do you do if she gets declined? If she doesn't get through to customs, what do you do? Literally the options that were listed on the website where you could send her back, which like would be horrible, because then I'm gonna have to fork over the cost of sending her back to the States, put her through another 21 some hour flight, because customs you won't hit until you get to the country of your destination, or whatever country that you're getting to. Like, for example, this time I had to fly to Australia first, so I would have gone to Australia first, and then maybe in the customs in Australia they'd be like, no, we don't want her, send her back to the States, you know, and then I'm gonna have to figure out where she's gonna go anyway. And then it came down to another fact of, you know, if she's not accepted, then I literally would just have to do the unthinkable, which is the last thing I'd want for Marielle. And then I'd still have to pay for that, if you catch my drift. And I don't want to, you know, terminally end Marielle's life like prematurely. That seemed a little fricked up. So I didn't have good options if she was declined. And then also with the fact of New Zealand, with their pretty hefty biosecurity laws, they also require when you take such a long flight like this that your animals be quarantined for 3 weeks. So no matter what, if I brought Marielle with me, it would have been as simple as this. I bring her with me, I'd fork over $8,000 to $12,000 in US, which is insane amount of money, just to hopefully have her pass all of the different like medical examinations. I would have to do so many medical vaccinations for her before leaving at a specific time period as well. And then just hoping she can get through all of the different, like, you know, security regulations and all of that. If she could somehow have absolutely next to no stress during the flight, get through everything necessary, then she still would have to sit in a quarantine where I could not visit her for at least 3 weeks. So it's pretty much putting her into a shelter for like another 3 weeks, which is just horrible. I did not like this option whatsoever for Marielle, and I just didn't think it was going to be logical. So I couldn't bring her with me for those reasons, mostly just on the fact of I didn't know how it would be on her health, and I really didn't know how to kind of go about that, because, you know, I'm risking like losing her in some retrospect, and I didn't want to do that for her. Like that I don't want to do that at all to her, and plus it would stress her the crap out, and I just did not want that on her. Long story short as to why Marielle did not come to New Zealand, but she is being well taken care of by Task Pumpkin, her new home. It's so exciting. I'm glad that Task was able to, you know, help me out with this, but also provide a good home for Marielle, because I know that freaking Task loves Marielle, y'all. She loves her, and it's great. I love to see it. When it comes down to what I'm going to be doing with streaming and content related things, I don't have a schedule right now, as I'm still sorting, you know, everything out. But I will say that I do plan to stream a lot less. So during this break. I actually have had a really nice time not streaming, and I kind of really needed this break, I'm not gonna lie. But a lot of what I've been wanting to do lately is to make more YouTube videos over stream. So I think I'm gonna stream less coming back. I do definitely want to apply for some work here in New Zealand as well, which will definitely change my hours. And time zone wise, it's going to be crazy, but I think I'm going to still keep the streams at around the same time period of sometime between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the afternoon, because for me, I'm just gonna have to wake up immediately in New Zealand like I've done right now and then stream for some amount of hours for you guys. But it should still be around the same time period as of right now, but if that changes in the future, that could change. I'm not sure yet, but as of right now, the stream time shouldn't be affected whatsoever for you guys. But yeah, overall, I would like to go more towards doing some more YouTube content, and I do really want to do some more content about the visa process and what exactly you need to move over to a different country, or at least in New Zealand specifically, and just overall the things I've learned throughout the process. I do want to do a lot more IRL stuff, and honestly, I feel a little bit safer doing IRL stuff here versus in the States. So maybe we could do some IRL streams finally. I've been wanting to do a few, so that'll be something that we could probably look into as well. There are a lot of things that are changing and coming up, and this is sort of my period in life where I feel like this is a good opportunity to try new things, change up the formula, and that's going to probably reflect a lot in the streaming and YouTube side. But that doesn't mean I'm totally not going to play Lotro. I mean, I've missed a lot of Lotro, and you know, the break from Lotro's been all right, but I do kind of really want to go play some of the festival, if it's even still up. I don't even know. I've not followed a lot of the news right now, so. But anyway, I hope that answers some basic questions for you guys on what's been going on, some of the big news, and of course, I will see you guys soon. I don't know when. I don't have a date yet of when I'll be back online streaming, but I'll be back probably sooner than what you think. So keep an eye on the socials. Bye, guys.